Okay, we are gonna make another sticker, and this time the sticker is going to be a window. But I'm gonna reuse the fact that I've already designed a plank that I can build my window from. So I'm going to create a new component for my window, and I want it to look interesting outside. So I'm gonna import an image of something that looks like an outdoor scene. And now, instead of trying to rebuild all the little parts of the window, I am going to go ahead and just transform this. Control G, and then transform this onto my front face, which would be a positive 30, positive 30. And then I'm just going to rescale the Y 0.866. And then now, instead of trying to do the window frame piece by piece, I'm actually going to reuse this piece called a plank. But this plank allows me just to define the dimensions of it. And it's going to be super thin because I want it to look like the dimensions of my window, or I want it to look like the frame outside my window. So let's see if I can change the Y. Maybe it's the X, sorry. X would be that dimension going this way, which let's double check what that was. So before I transformed it, the dimensions of my picture was 1.54 by 1.63. So that means the dimensions of this guy can be 1.63. Okay, and then everything else can be super small. Okay, so that can be the part of the window that sits on top. Or let's start with the one on bottom. And then we'll copy that exact same piece for the one on top. And then now, I made a copy, but now I want this one to be 1.54. Oh, sorry. I want the height to be 1.54, and then that can be 0.125. And this can be a plank for the vertical pieces of my window. Okay, and then I want this to sit on top, so I'm actually going to take this and move it so it's at the top of the drawing order, and then that way it sits on top of those window pieces. Okay, so that looks like a window, and if you wanted to, you could put more bars through the middle, but that already looks like a window. So let's go back to our room, and we're going to drag our window on top of our room. So it looks a little bit different than our picture frame, because our picture frame sits at the front of that frame, but this one is a window. It looks like that's part of the wall, whereas that's just scenery outside.